let us have a very quick and crisp introduction from each one of you for the benefit of the audiences. Starting from Biju sir, I'll just pass on the mic to you. I know it's working.
Myself, Dr. Biju Pillai. I have around 29 years of experience. I was working with earlier in Search for 8 years, and currently I am working with Sri Balaji University as Senior Director IT and Admissions and Dean Faculty of Commerce and Management. Thank you.
Hello. That is working.
Yeah, good evening everyone. I am Dr. Praveen Zangre from Raisuni Education, Wabuli campus. Presently, I am dealing with the Arts Science Commerce College, as well as I am dealing with the admissions, as well as the marketing team. Currently, I am having a 23 years of experience with the teaching, as well as administration and the research. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Suraj and Team Meritto for inviting me. My name is Mukesh Joshi. I am the Director of Technology at Flagship University, Lovely campus. I have been in technology for more than 20 years, 10 years in US and 11 years with Flagship. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Santosh Kumar, Chief Technology Officer for Indira Group Institute. I'm there with Indira for last 23 years, and yes, I'm core technology currently looking after digital transformation for the group. Thank you.
Welcome. 23 years at an institution is huge time. Congratulations, Santoshji.
Hi, I'm Neeta Dagar. I'm Associate Director of Admissions Marketing at MIT World Peace University here in Pune. And I've been in the education industry only for about 7-8 years, but before that I've been in the BPO KPO segment, which helps me with the admission marketing work, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeta, for joining us today on the panel.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Mahesh Gowda with the industrial experience of 13 years and a vast experience of 24 years in academics. And I'm presently associated with MIT Academic Living College, Pune since last 19 years.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh. Thank you so much.
Namaskar and good evening. My name is Dr. Santosh Borde. Total experience 22 years and most of it with JSP group of institutes for 18 years, last 18 years. Mostly in student progression, alumni placement, foreign university relations, etc. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking our time, sir. Welcome to you all.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Digambar Chatta. I am in, my experience is 10 years in tech industry, and I have been teacher for 7 years and taught almost 10,000 students and guided to crack different examinations like CSIR Navigate. And currently, I am serving as a Chief Operating Officer at IFS, looking after everything like business, admissions, process, product, and everything, sales also.
Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. All right. So, I'll start asking my first question to Digambar, and I would want Biju sir also to take a dive on that. The question is that technology is not inevitable, right? Utilization of technology is inevitable. There's no question about using or not using technology. In our organization itself, we were doing an audit and we found out that knowingly and unknowingly, we were already using some 70 odd softwares, right? Be it for HR, be it for our compliances, be it for our API management, be it for our project management. There are many tools, right, that we utilize. So that question is long gone. Very important question now arises is that how do you ensure in your organizations that whatever technology that you have subscribed to or you have trying to adopt, how do you ensure that it is being adopted in a very meaningful manner to the hilt until the last user in the organization? So is there a framework that you have, or do you intend to make a framework? How have you ensured that? So we may start with Digambar.
So I got your question. So let's get deep into it. Okay.
Yep.
First of all, last 5 years I'm working as a CEO. So CEO, my CEO is from IT industry, and that is very challenging for me because he wants to build everything in house. My CTO is with me. Okay, he's sitting there. And what they are trying to do is they are trying to do everything in house, right from HR portal. You won't believe, हमारे पास 30 portals है. We have 30 portals. We have separate portal for everything, right from admission to every employee salary, PF, everything. Everything is on portal. I don't need to maintain a single Excel sheet with me. Just I have one login access, Digambar Jatta, where I have to look at every single, what I can say, department. I can measure what is the productivity of particular department. Right now, we have in-house 29 people IT team, which is not needed for any tech company. In-house.
Yep.
Fez is in connect with me since last 2.5 years. Okay. सो वो भी आया था मिलने, मैंने उसको बहुत बताया, समझाया कि ऐसा है. सो आई हैव शेड्यूल्ड हिज कॉल विद माय CEO. देन ही गॉट वेरी मच इनसाइट्स कि हाउ वी आर वर्किंग एंड ऑल these things. So basically what we do, suppose a student is present on social media like Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, website, YouTube, email, WhatsApp, anywhere. We have a CRM who can track all these data at one place. And counselor, or what I can say is our academic expert, has access of all these things at one place. And we have different campaigning for different students according to their requirements. So basically, we are very much into the technology, and it has one disadvantage because as a CEO, I have to look after promotions. That is very important. Marketing is very important. Although we don't need marketing because हमारा result बोलता है. Currently in CSR category, IT job category, or we are dealing in 13 categories where our result is best in India. So we don't need to do much marketing. But उसके साथ साथ जो है बाकी जो technology है, it is at one place. But you know that technology is endless. हम इसको कितना भी improve करते जाए, there is always need of improvement again and again. Every day when I ride, जैसे मैं बानेर से आता हूँ, it is a 12 kilometer distance, it takes almost 45 minutes. तो उसमें मेरे को 5 आइडिया आते हैं और सबसे पहले मैं CTO को कैबिन में बुलाता हूँ, I need to implement this. And my next question is schedule demo at 10 PM. Today only. He says that, how is it possible, sir? So my simple answer is there is a 29 of people team sitting on floor. You can do that. So we are very much into technology. That is what I can say.
Okay, Biju sir. So taking a cue from what Digambar just mentioned, I have a mic here. Now around adoption of technology amongst the teams, right? Because all of these decisions are largely taken at the management level because they want to cater to a lot of problems, and they would have a larger view of the organization and they would want to solve it through technology, right? But somebody maybe at the down the funnel level might not really be very keen and curious. So how do you ensure that whatever that you have subscribed to is being used and it's used meaningfully?
One of the main challenge which he was facing, maybe somewhere around 2010 at that point of time, we were doing lot of digital activities. Lot of leads used to come. People come and pull you. Mostly, almost all publishers. So I was wondering that point of time onwards how to measure this. If somebody come and claiming, I do not make any publisher's name, but everybody come and speak the same language. So I provided this many number of leads, that leads, this leads. Those time, we used to have telephone calls, emails, everything is manual, nothing is automatic. So I wanted to, and what we do, we download all the data, all the leads, later on sort it by email ID, and find out from which portal this has come. But you won't get primary, secondary kind of data, you will get unique data. So what I used to do those days is, if I'm spending this much money into a particular portal, and I'll take the unique leads, unique application form. That means if I'm spending 10 lakh rupees, and if I'm not going with this one, I realized that recently with the help of their product, I realized that I spend a substantial amount of money, I got only 20, 25 applications. So if I wouldn't have gone for that thing, I will be using only 25 applications. So keep this aside, so I was doing this Excel activity. Now, I approached few software companies, can you develop a software new to us? We don't have any kind of in-house development as such. I given my requirement, but nobody was giving a proper attention to that. So one day, this story I was told several times. One day I was planning to go to Delhi. My tickets are booked, I was about to go, night flight. That point of time, this fellow has come without an appointment. He just barged in my room. So I don't want to say no to him because I'm going for an appointment kind of a thing. But if I say no to him, what will happen? I said, okay, fine. I had given only around 25 minutes presentation he has made. Something which I was looking for was right in front of me. So that was given a lot of like how to measure. So today, NPF is one of the biggest enemy for all the publishers. I must tell you that thing. So today, I tell everyone, next year if you want to do the business, then let us check with the primary, secondary data analysis and how much application, how many leads have come, what is the conversion ratio. So then I implemented this, and all my counselors, I have a fantastic team available. They know, perhaps I'm not making a boasting statement. I have one of my professor with me. His name is Sanjay. He may be knowing the NPO product much better than NPO. That kind of resources we have. We are working on that thing for over a period of time. Now I did an incentive scheme for my team calling counselors. It will monitor how many leads are assigned to a person, how he has converted that thing, what is the final acquisition ratio. So we have made an incentive scheme also, purely on the basis of this report. So this ensures many of our areas, ERP implementation and LMS implementation, those things are in progress. But acquisition is one area we have completely automated, and it is working very fantastically fine.
Yeah, great. So, Sri Balaji University was one of the customers, first customers, and as you mentioned that you just barged in. My expectation at that point of time was just that people in Pune should hear us out, right? But he signed a deal with us. So,
see, that point of time when he came, I was with another agency, Form.Stack. Then I said, that point of time I have a bargaining power. I said, I'm giving 50 rupees for Form.Stack. He said, okay, fine, the same thing you give to me. But that point of time I had a bargaining power. When after a year, the table has changed. There is a dependability factor from my end. Now he is dictating terms with me.
No, we never dictate terms, sir. No, I understand that. Now, I'm sorry, somebody said something here?
No, you started dictating terms nowadays.
Happy? All right, we will talk about cocktail for sure. Okay, my next question is to both the CTOs we have here, Mukesh and Santosh, both of them, right? This is not a question that I'm supposed to ask, but what Digambar mentioned that immediately struck my mind. To what extent do you think that in-house development should really be looked as a possibility, and how much of pressure is that on CTOs in the company? Because what he mentioned, considering I'm also a business guy, and this keeps on happening with us also until and unless when we look at things holistically, we realize that no, yeah, there are priorities. There is a project management and everything that these guys also have to do, the tech guys. So we don't really push them off the edge. But what he just mentioned about CTO is there, right? That you've got a team of 29 people and everything's possible, and we can just do it in hours and days or something. So what's your view on this?
So the story of Suraj barging from one office to another office is something is very interesting. So after he barged to your office, he actually barged to my office on the same day.
दोनों आमने सामने हो
दोनों आमने सामने इसीलिए he managed to do that. But that's how the technology adaptation, the actual fruit of technology adaptation started when NPF came into the picture, and obviously everybody started following it. And as Biju sir said that as far as admission automation is concerned, it's sectoral matter, right? For everybody, and it is something is that people are not struggling anymore. It's just that we need to take benefit beyond that what we are doing right now. So that is something a separate discussion, we can do it. But going back to your question, Suraj, there is a plus and there is a minus to doing a development in house, right? I have burned my finger over the years with trying with the many vendors in ERP or UMS, whatever you called it. With no offense to anybody, they have created a nice product. Everybody has created a nice product. They try to fit in your environment, which is something is education. Every education in group has a different phase, a different way of working. So if you try to fit one solution to everybody, that is where the problem starts, right? And then when you go and ask custom fit solution, and you ask for the changes, obviously they are difficult to do that. And then when you push it to do that, look, this is what we wanted, they start doing changes, and then this solution doesn't work. And we had experiment with many UMSs and ERP, and that is where we decided to start our own development. We started development for our own university management system last year. We have onboarded 30 people just for the ERP development. Backend developer, front-end developer, DevOps guy, QA guy, UX guy, everything. So, and it was not an easy choice, trust me, because anybody who wanted to do a software development don't want to come to the education industry. For the simple reason, they don't see a future out there. So, appointing a people was a real challenge. So what we did, we actually started is hiring consultant, who can take the owners of let's assume backend team, front end team, and then every education institute has a plus is that they have their own pool of talent within the organization, but you need to use it very smartly because it could be a plus for you that anytime you have given a student, you bring in, train them, and then you start doing development. But the flip side of that there's no commitment from that. So that is the learning which we have evolved over the years. That in the 13-member team, 15 we have onboarded as a regular salary, and the 15 people are the floating people. But the idea is we understood the benefit of developing our own system. And what thought process we have kept in mind that let's not re-engineer everything. That's not possible, right? Like we know that the CRM is settled, right? We know that NPF has built a capability who has mastered in their field. Why do we re-engineer that, right? So we are not touching that. Not only for the CRM point of view, even for the HRMS, for purchase and all that, we are not re-engineering. What we are building actually is the core module which is needed for institutional, right? Those are the core modules, the backbone module. And rest everything we call it as a fringe module. We try to integrate that. And API, is something is very much available. You keep your API open and you keep integrating. So that is where the model which we have adopted, and it's working beautifully. We are in the process of completing, as a minimum viable product, we are rolling out in the month of April. And we are looking forward to integrating with you. That is something which really needed. I don't know how you are evolving, because there is a pertinent question which we are facing. I was talking to Vijay sir. Is that when you have a student, enrolled into your application form, and when he becoming your student, right? There is a process of every, the scholarship comes into the picture, right? I don't know, do you have a scholarship system in place? Because every university and college has different scholarship model. So if you don't have a scholarship, you have to bring those students to confirm admission on our portal, right? And then send it back to your portal to keep the first installment, right? So that is something which is still unanswered to me. I'll send to the product team to figure out how we can do that. But that is what I'm like, essentially what we are essentially doing, that we are developing. We are going for a digital transformation. We trust our own resources, and going forward, I have visited the LPU. Trust me, one organization who must follow that. They have built capability over the 16 years, and now they are enjoying the fruit which they have built over the 16 years. Their entire system is online. You name the vertical, and they have online. And the kind of data which they are generating and the kind of analytics they are enjoying is unparalleled. So that is the benefit I can always say.
Yeah. I recall, connecting you with the LPU team for reviewing their ERP and all. So ERP is a different ballgame altogether. We have also realized over the period of time because this kind of requirement comes back to us every time. Earlier we were thinking that, we'll not get into ERPs, but the industry is pushing us so hard that we've already started evaluating some companies because developing an ERP system organically, I think is going to take us some 16 years. But we're looking at some companies that we can look at for inorganic expansion perspective. Yeah, as far as scholarship is concerned, that is pretty much possible through our Calixo product, right? Maybe the team would engage with you separately on that. So Mukesh, the same question to you, right? What Digambar also mentioned about the expectations, how much feasibility you think, no matter how big a team you have, do you think anything can be managed, any idea can be put into the product in a few hours, days?
So I was listening patiently to my colleagues' thought process, and with due respect, I have a bit of a contrarian view on maintaining in-house development because see that at the pace at which the technology is evolving, disrupting various industries, the pace at which our student demographics are changing, their expectations of an university are changing. When you have an in-house setup, you invariably will go on the path of creating some or the other form of technical debt. When I say technical debt, it means that once you're invested into a system, let's say for example, you have started developing a system 5 years back, and then now a new technology is coming in. Now you will think, I've already invested so much time and money into this, I'm not going to go and invest into a new tech. So that makes the job of CTOs so difficult, where that technical debt makes it very difficult for them to move on to the new age and disruptive technologies. I know that it's not easy just to not have any in-house setup and leverage and cater to all the stakeholders. But going forward, I'm of the view that the technology is made available at such pace and such cost that we all can aspire to use cutting edge technology at the lowest possible cost because of the cloud computing that is there, because of AI is coming. So we should be looking to reduce our tech debt, and we should be looking to rely on experts. In Indian education space, if I have done a little study that maybe 50 years back, there were not many players very serious on education space in India. But now for the last 5 to 7 years, even our government has given such a push that all the tech players are seeing value in getting into the higher education space. There are companies like Meritto are coming up, and a lot of companies in higher are coming up and creating specialized, lightweight, agile systems tailor-made to cater to various sizes of the universities. So we should look outward now, because India tech space is now getting serious on higher ed. 11 years back when I was in the market, I just didn't see anybody who is very serious on education space, which is why I could relate to all my friends where they had to set up an in-house team. But I think the times are changing now.
Yeah.
Technology is evolving now. India as a growth destination for education is coming up, and all the big players, small players, medium players, they want to work with institutions. And also I would agree with my colleagues' comment that it is very difficult to get talent and retain them in-house. Because there's so much to offer outside, why would somebody want to stay in an in-house setup? That's the challenge I face, that's the challenge I'm sure with confidence can say that the other CTOs in this forum will face. So let's look forward, according to me.
Yeah.
It's not easy answer, but the way forward is look at cloud, look at AI, rely on experts, and go towards cloud computing, and that will make sense in short term. Long term, short term, you might see some pain, but that's where the whole world is heading. So we should be prepared for that, and less of in-house and more of cloud.
No, fantastic. The both of you, what you mentioned is absolute right. It's not just limited to or confined to education as industry, across industries. See, even when in our organization we are in a need of automating something, despite being a tech company which has more than 250 people working on different things, we never think of distracting them, deviating their focus to meeting our requirements. The first approach is always to look out for existential products, right? Because these products must have built very deep expertise to deliver to our expectations and requirements, right? And if somehow we are not really able to find those products aligned to our needs, then there is something that we try to build in-house. Otherwise, we don't really want to invest in anything, which eventually it leads to tech debt, as you mentioned, right? It leads to a lot of cost, it leads to a lot of problem. कस्टमाइज करवाने के लिए भी बहुत दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है, राइट? कस्टमाइज करने के लिए कोई तैयार है, दैट डजंट मीन कि कस्टमाइजेशन हो जाएगा. हमको भी बहुत ज़्यादा दिमाग लगाना पड़ता है, and then there is a lot of alterations, right? Now coming to the lady on the panel and taking a jab from a cue from what Mahesh from Flame, Mahesh, right? Mukesh, okay. Mukesh from Flame mentioned about changing expectations of the students, right? See, our expectations with evolution of technology has also changed. आज की डेट में हम लोग शायद बहुत ज़्यादा कैश कैरी नहीं करते हैं. मैं बिल्कुल कैश कैरी नहीं करता हूँ. We don't really worry about carrying cash in our pockets until unless we have our mobile phones pretty much charged, because we'll be able to make payments through UPI, and then we can do anything through different apps we can buy and so on and so forth. The expectations of students must have also changed, Neeta, with time. So how have you been able to meet the need of the Gen Z per se and changing needs of the students using AI, using technology? And question number two, I've seen you very closely working, and your curiosity into making changes to things for better is very, very high. So what were your aspirations before tech, which you were able to solve with tech, and what is that you look forward to? These two questions: student expectations, your aspirations. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take a few cues from some of the people here from our video as well, which was played in the beginning.
Yeah.
Before we signed up with Meritto, NoPaperForms, in 5 years we had 4 different CRMs. Our experience was so bad with each one of them.
Which were those?
Oh, that's not. It was either we couldn't understand, didn't have the expertise, weren't able to hire, like you said, didn't have those skills to understand how good that product was, and one of them even today I believe is awesome. We spoke about it a little while ago. And the other 3 just didn't work. And slowly we understood that, and then you came, and it was supposed to be a 2-hour demo, it turned into 6 hours.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense, because you have a product which defines the journey very well, and you can customize things using AI, using things like lead score, where again AI comes into the picture, what kind of automations you've put. So in the entire customer journey, candidates have changed, and they keep changing every year. They are, of course, more and more digital. A lot of parents even today will tell their kids, boards are coming up, keep your phone away, etc. But that's not going to happen much. And parents will also do research. Till date, the 12th class person who wants to go into an undergraduate program will still take his cues from his parents and grandparents. So you still have to reach out to those guys, and they're not as digital as the kids are. As soon as they finish their boards, though, they're online. Now there are 2 shifts which have happened. One, as soon as the pandemic happened, everything went online. We had to go online. There's no campus visit happening. We all know how we did our admissions for 2020. And for those of us who were not online, suddenly had to go online. Those of us who were doing GDPIs or interviews all across the country, suddenly we had to find platforms to work on to take interviews online and then do the admissions that year. Those kids, of course, barely saw college 3 years, barely. And now again, there's a huge shift. Instead of the first lead which comes across, oh, you're about only 20 kilometers away. I'm going to come to campus and then I'll apply. So by now, 2024, I would say, that shift is coming back. I want to come to campus. I want to see it. I'm not just digital. Digital is now bringing the lead to a warmer stage, but not really as much as percentage converting. So when you're looking at stats, even within Meritto, things like how many campus visits, if you can tag it off, things like how many events they attended has now become more and more important.
Yeah.
And we've seen that growing. We have a walk-in center in our university. and it sees a footfall year on year by 10,000 per year is increasing footfall. If it's on Meritto that lead or not. There are people who come into the walk-in center and the source name becomes walk-in.
Yeah.
They have not come on our platform at all until they're on campus. So we have like 40 rooms at the time of when boards finish right up till June end, where one representative faculty member from each school, each department, each program is sitting in one room each, and whoever's coming in, we direct them there. Yes, sometimes there is a faculty member who says, "Aaj koi nahi aaya, waise mil de." That also happens. But we're seeing more and more people coming and meeting physically. They use digital to do research where they want to go. So that is a big shift we've seen.
Yeah. Fantastic. So moving to Dr. Mahesh. Mahesh sir, any comments from any of the questions that were asked, or I have a question for you.
You can ask me a question.
Okay, I'll ask you a question. So the question is, while subscribing to a tech vendor in your organization, right, what are the parameters that you evaluate, and what learnings all of us should really take, right? Because we also do some tech evaluations, right? Everybody does, not just for enrollment, but for anything else in the organization. What are the must to evaluate and look at parameters to finalize a tech vendor?
Thank you. It's a very good question. But basically, let me put a little background. I come from an academic institute, not exclusively from the marketing side or the admission side.
Yeah.
I was a pure academician. So, but somehow the responsibilities came to me to lead the team. And one of the important things that happens is going to be the admission process.
Yeah.
But basically, we are from an affiliated institute to Savitribai Pune University. And most of the admissions happen through the government of Maharashtra. So most of these admissions were happening by its own because the students were getting scholarship. But as the time passed on, as there is more and more competition, there is more challenges, and we became autonomous in the year 2016-17. But when we became autonomous, we had more and more challenges. And we thought, and also all these accreditation bodies, NBA, NAC, all needed a lot of documentation, like 3 years data, 4 years data. So we thought it's very important that we use a ERP. So we thought that because we didn't have much of the knowledge, we went with an ERP that was already well developed in the market. But when it comes to the individual institutions, it becomes very, very difficult for that particular ERP to get adjusted to the requirements of that particular institution. So really it was a hard year for us, but however, we realized that there should be some tools which will make the interface easy, as you rightly said. The people are also need to be trained, and the time that we get is very small. So the tool that you're going to use, it should be of very friendly nature. It should not be of much complicated.
Yeah.
And it should be, most of the navigation should be very easy in that particular point. And that I really realized when we shifted to NPF. Okay, because last year I was really not much aware about this particular point. I realized that amount of application that come to a college for just an intake of about 800 is more than 10,000 to 11,000 forms, and that too the period is as small as 2 months. And to handle such a huge input of data, to avoiding duplications, to ensure that you are going to meet the requirements of so many people. And basically the students who are coming to the college for admission, they do not have much of the background, So you need to handle them. Each one have their own problems. So there is almost a personalized interaction they need to have, and with such a small time span that is available, without the proper use of the technology or without the automated process like what the NPF has, it becomes very difficult to address these particular personal issues of the students. And also, because sometimes until we accounted some good tool, we need to really understand the other tools. So we usually use we use for experimentation purpose. We collect the data, we use the predictive analysis to see how many the leads were generated, how many were the organic leads, how many were the inorganic leads, and all this analysis, even geographic details, everything comes in a very, very, very systematic manner, and it becomes really very easy for us to take take the decisions. I will tell you, this is basically this particular automated tools and platform. They make our life easy to take decisions. And really I should appreciate that these particular technologies are making my life easy as a head of the institution, so that I'm able to concentrate more into what I'm in for. But really good efforts, and I can see that this particular platform, one more thing I would like to tell is that the requirements are changing, especially with respect to NEP.
Yeah.
There are so many variations coming up. There are so many modifications of programs we are going to offer. And we need to educate, we need to ensure that our USPs are made clear to the students community. And that becomes very easy doing all this, for example, hand-holding sessions, seminar sessions, personalized learning, and whatever the geographic leads we are going to get, are they getting, are they organic, are they non-organic? All this pattern analysis really helps out, and I feel this is not possible without without the use of the technology. And I'm quite sure all these particular tools, they are going to update themselves with respect to the new requirements. As you rightly said, finance is one of the important problems. When the students do come to the college, they do not have the sufficient financial background. So because it is linked to some of the financial institutions which are going to fund them in their future education, this particular information that is given at the admission process itself makes the student's life also more comfortable. So I feel without the use of the technology, without analyzing the performance, of course there are failures are bound to happen. We need to learn from our mistakes. That is how we have switched over from one platform to the other platform. But finally, we need to settle down on one particular platform, which is more flexible, which is more adaptable, and I feel that is the need of the hour. We do not have the luxury of committing the mistakes and learning from the mistakes every time, but I feel there is a need that we need to learn from the other mistakes too. So thank you for this opportunity that is given to us, and really this NPS has really helped us, our admission team, in addressing and last year we achieved 100% admissions.
Great. Sir.
And when we actually addressed more than 10,000 students in this particular part, and also not only the 100% admission, the merit got increased from average 65% to 90%. The cutoff was 90% in the college. So this is how it also helps us to analyze the data, to predict the data in a better way. What should be our target next year? Achieving the 100% admission is not the end game. I feel even the quality of the students that take admissions also do matter, and these such platforms really help us to take such decisions. Thank you.
Great, sir. So when did you transition from academics to admissions and marketing?
Just 5 years back. It was I got transferred from pure professor to director during the COVID time, 2019-20. I took over.
No, I wonder, you're talking about predictive analytics and lead scoring and organic leads and all of that, you know, and being academician becoming a marketer. You're already there, sir.
The situation going to teach you. It's not that.
There's
no option for me. I need to learn those in order to survive and sustain.
You can teach those now, sir. I'm very sure. It's a deadly combination. Thank you so much. And the way,
Same story with me.
yeah, the way that you mentioned all those numbers, 60%, you know, grade to 95%, all of that, right? It puts a lot of pressure on companies like ours, right? That we have to be very precise in the reports and everything. But I think we have delivered to the promises. So great. So moving to Santosh sir from ADYPU, sir, same question, right? Or in the interest of time, let me just change the question, sir, right? The question to you and, you know, a few more people, maybe sir, I'll come back to you, and maybe Biju sir also. What do you fear the most when it comes to subscribing to a technology, especially in the enrollment? क्या डर है सबसे ज़्यादा?
Right. So let me admit few things because we have very limited time. Yeah. So most of the team is a football team sitting here, and I come from cricketing background. Okay. And the amount of time we spend, I think most of the discussion is done. I will take something what madam, you asked a question to her, right? The technology wise.
Yeah.
I am migrating from a SPPU system to autonomy, the way SAL is performing now, then to a private university. So, game wise, I can see the expectation of youngsters and so-called people who are not conventional users of education system. I mean, I may be employee and still want to learn, and I'm looking for university. I think that context was missing out. Deliberately, I'm adding that. Conventional learner systems are there, but today university need to attract users or learners who do not come from conventional backgrounds. I was going through your Meritto story and all those backgrounds. Of course, it's all about technology, being so techy. So I was talking about having things in house. Can we build the team in house? All those experiences, etc. Challenge, as such, coming back to your question, challenge is everywhere. I mean, whenever we are looking for a change and adopting a new technology and leveraging it for the educational sector, it is always going to be challenged. Especially today, someone already mentioned today, education is an industry. So you see a lot of money pumping in, a lot of diversity coming in, reaching to a global level as a university. A lot of stakes are involved, money is involved. So when money and large canvas is involved, technology will play a role. Gone are the days when a few counselors sitting in a back end will be handling queries and sorting it out and making people comfortable as an admit and ensuring 100% admissions the way sir said for say MIT or whatever.
Yeah.
Today students are Gen Z, so they are sometimes here, sometimes they are distracted, all that. So that mapping the data, what is coming to them in the system, being a technology, I think the challenging part would be how we can interpret their interest when they are hitting to your site as a university or as a college, and deriving those meaningful interpretation of what best I can communicate to these people, how I can engage them for more time, how quickly I can close the deal in terms of whatever is to your website to convert it to a last admitted student for university. Uh, so technology adoption as an educationalist would be a challenge if I go other way around. So still in education, there is a fear of adopting to the technology. Still people may feel it could be the right time or not could be the right time. They may be waiting for one more right time, right? But as a lot of new universities are mushrooming up and today's generation students are looking at diversified number of courses and different aspirations, the whole story will be moving around. Educationists and the founders will be pushed to use a lot of technology and dig a lot of data.
Yeah, absolutely.
And going to the places. So I think to sum it up, great learning from all of them. I'm not from admission background. I come from an area which is more into corporate relations, right? But when you work as a placement officer, say for 2 decades, admission somewhere comes in. People come, no? The counselor will come and say he's expecting a mechanical course admission and what best we are offering to them. But today the context would be totally different. So I think a lot of learning from each one of the panel members and from you also, the spontaneity you bring into the questions. And question bank is different. So whatever questions we got, your questions are so out of syllabus. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much. I think if all of these questions were spontaneous, the answers were also spontaneous and they were bang on, right? So it's a good job. It's a great job learning for me also. To you, sir, the question remains the same. How do you identify that, okay, this is going to be the right technology and technology vendor in specific for my organization? So what are the parameters that you look at, right? If you want to answer the question or pick up anything else.
Thank you, sir. First of all, before the start of this panel discussion, the exercise that you did, I can imagine what exactly the exercise was. So it was the exactly same. The exercise was simply we have to meet and greet the people, and how many people we can be able to recognize. Hardly the lady, she recognized the 4. So you can imagine how much is the technology is important. If we physically visit and then meet the people, it is very difficult to catch. Just like catching a fish, and you have to hold, otherwise the fish will pull down into the water.
See, that's spontaneity, right? You just picked up a activity and
So
framed
that's
an
the thing
answer.
that we have to do.
Applause for him.
So earlier also our team, the marketing team, they faced a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
It's just like a marketing is at the center and there is a computer star. So they direct in all possible directions from where we can be able to collect the data and everything. So all sort of effort they have put up. So once the NPF they approached 5 years back, I think. So a lot of challenges they have resolved. So we could be able to access the raw data. Then we can be able to sort out. Then NPF also have modified some modifications were there. So that means we can be able to segregate. Then visualization of the data. So all these things that can be possible. So this is what means whenever we go for any sort of vendor, so we can go for the KPIs also.
Yeah.
KPIs are very, very important because unless you have the KPIs, and every institution have their KPIs, so based upon that, they can be able to identify these vendors also. So I would suggest whenever we go for any sort of new vendors, so whether the goals have been set properly or not, and if the goals have been set, the target as well as the goals, then whether it has been implemented properly or not. So whatever they are mentioning, so whether it has been implemented, and if it is implemented, then as Sir has also mentioned the automated system. So automation is also been very much required. So I hope these all three products are in merit.
Great insights from everybody. I had a couple of more questions around KPIs and all, but we have just 13 seconds left. So what we'll do is that just before we end the session, I'll do a quick rapid fire. So I'll just throw away a small question, or I'll just name a word. I'll take a word out, and you have to let us know, in all honesty, that what's the first thing that came to your mind. All right, ready everybody? It's a rapid fire. So we'll start from Digambar. CTO. First word that comes to your mind when you hear about your CTO. Deadline. Should meet deadlines. Okay. So, Santosh sir, marketing. You're not a marketer, right? So marketing. Customer centric. All right. Then we have Mahesh sir. Mahesh sir, academics or admissions? Academics. Neeta, Meritto. Partner.
So here, if I can add a sentence there.
Yeah, please.
We, in all of our places that we are in, all our universities, colleges,
Mike.
all of our institutions, colleges that we are in, we always talk about vendors. Actually, we are all vendors too, because our clients are every school, every dean, especially in a university of my size, where you have 8,000 admissions a year, and you have 150 plus programs with 33 different departments, so 33 different clients. So it needs to be a partnership.
Yeah.
They all have KPIs they've given us. It's not just about the number, it's also the merit. So that means there's only one way you can increase, make the merit better, is get more applications. So that's where Meritto really comes into play as a partner to help in all of that.
Partner, thank you. Santosh sir, Meritto.
Of course, partner. Yeah, so I'll go.
नहीं इसको change करो आप.
Okay, so Meritto is like I don't know, a true product actually. I would say a product which you can rely on.
Okay.
It has evolved product. Actually, it goes with your evolved. It's evolved product. It's settled product actually.
Great. Mukesh, evolve. You are already evolved. About evolve. Evolve.
Thank you. That's the word.
Thank you so much. Praveen sir,
Yes.
evolve.
I think it's a real time.
About the event.
about evolve.
About this event, evolve. Yeah, what comes to your mind?
It's a real time application, or we can say the software.
No, not Meritto, evolve.
Okay.
this event, sir?
Event is excellent and thank you. That's it.
Biju sir, which company you subscribed to last year and came back to us this year? No, that's not the question. No, that's not the question.
I have an answer also.
No, I don't. That's not the question. The question is, I'll have two. One is Bala sir.
Bala sir. It's an emotional question for me.
Yes, that's the reason I asked that question.
He is a father figure for me. You know, 18 years working with a man that too. Balaji had a different culture. No Sundays. All the days are Mondays for us. It was very difficult. So if you ask me, Bala sir, I'll tell you one sentence. One day I told Bala sir, all the directors, everybody was sitting, I made a statement and I said, Bala sir, it is very difficult to work with you. So he felt slightly offended and I'm saying in public. The next sentence I said was, but it is impossible to work without you. That is my opinion about
So Bala sir, the founder of Sri Balaji University, is no more with us. And I know that how connected you were, and he's still with us. And the work that he has done in education, I think it's fantastic. So huge round of applause for the lost soul, great person. Meritto.
See, Meritto, when it comes to my mind, you want an honest answer?
Yeah, honest answer.
Yeah. So, Meritto, very honestly speaking, first thing comes to mind is nothing but Suresh. It's very frank answer. But the second thing which if you are asking me, it is reliability. Now we are in this function, coming and talking goody things about NBF is also not correct thing. We should tell the true things also. 3-4 years before, they have come with a marketing automation.
Oh my God.
Marketing automation you must be knowing. So every time my bigger problem you resolve, I was a fan of this product. Things are happening very properly. But the fine morning he again comes and said, sir, we have a new product. It is marketing automation. He explained, it's a very easy one because I used to do everything manual, mail merge. As I told you, my professor used to spend a lot of time on this. And he said this, I was the most happiest person. I said, without consulting anyone to do it, implemented it. And after 3 months, I realized that there is a bug. It was not working at all. So the reliability factor coming in. So I had a big fight with him over the phone. Because what happened, the reliable factor I'm saying is, if that wouldn't have been there, I would have been able to send my old practice of sending mail. Are you getting? When you have over faith on that product, because I was totally a fan of this one. But later on, we fixed that thing, and I am telling you, you must use that feature, marketing automation, that will make your job much simpler. Lead nurturing is most important. You nurture the lead. So where marketing, I have a lot of things to say, but in the passage of time, I am not saying anything other than this. But this is my feedback about Meritto.
Thank you so much. It was a great time with all of you. Thank you so much for the insights. I wish we could have prolonged this discussion and have had more discussion on different questions and topics. But thank you so much for the contribution. That's our time. Thank you so much, everybody. Huge round of applause for the panelists.